Stepping into that open house in Kingston, I couldn't help but notice how lively the atmosphere was. Guests mingling on the big veranda, the scent of patties in the air, and a stack of Jamaica Homes flyers on the table next to some chilled sorrel. Selling a house in Jamaica truly feels like a community event, doesn't it?
It really does. There's something special about how Jamaican hospitality shapes the process. Buyers aren't just looking at the structure. They're feeling out the vibe, chatting over refreshments, even peeking at the laptop showing the online property listing. It's so much more personal than a lot of other markets.
Absolutely, and it's that personal touch that seems to influence how sellers approach pricing and negotiations. I overheard one prospective buyer gently questioning the list price, and the agent skillfully redirected them to the fruit trees and the freshly painted veranda, almost like guiding the conversation to keep the mood light.
That's classic. Sellers in Jamaica often start with a bit of optimism, listing higher to see if someone bites. But beneath that, there's a real strategy they're balancing market realities with cultural expectations. It's not just about numbers, is it? They're weighing what the house means in the community.
That actually reminds me of something I've noticed. Once a list price goes up in Jamaica, it tends to stick, even if the house sits for months. Sellers seem almost reluctant to budge, even when buyers hesitate. What's behind that?
Funny you ask. It's not just stubbornness or pride, though those can play a role. There's a tiny but real menu cost to changing prices. Think of the hassle of updating listings, reprinting flyers, or calling your agent again. Even if it's a small effort, it acts like glue, keeping that initial price in place.
I guess it's easy to underestimate how those little hurdles add up, especially when sellers are already emotionally invested. And culturally, a lower price might even feel like admitting defeat or devaluing the home in the eyes of neighbors.
Exactly. And there's a rational side too. Sellers know that dropping the price might attract more buyers. But in Jamaica's market, buyer turnout doesn't always shoot up just because the price dips a little. That makes every price change a calculated risk, not just a knee-jerk reaction to slow interest.
Once buyers do make an offer, the negotiation dance can go on for ages. I heard of one homeowner who turned down a low first offer, only to get a slightly better one months later, but it was still below the original list price. Do you see that pattern often?
All the time. Initial offers here tend to come in well under list, almost as a given. Sellers are ready for a back and forth. Sometimes they even expect the first round to be a bit of a lowball. The trick is knowing when to hold firm and when to compromise, especially since holding out too long can backfire and drop your final price.
It seems like sellers are walking a tightrope. If they're too inflexible, the house could languish for months. But if they jump at the first low offer, they miss out on potential gains. Plus, buyers are savvy. They notice if a property has been on Jamaica Homes for too long and start wondering what's wrong with it.
That's so true. The longer a home sits, the more buyers start to sense desperation or hidden issues, which can push offers even lower. It's this delicate dance optimism, patience, and knowing when to make a move that really defines the Jamaican home selling experience.
So for sellers and agents listening in, it seems the magic is in balancing those expectations. Set a realistic list price, but don't be afraid to adjust if needed and stay engaged with buyers rather than just waiting for the perfect offer.
And I'd add, use every resource, from polished online listings to the traditional open house atmosphere. Leverage the digital platforms like Jamaica Homes, but don't lose that personal touch. Share the story of the home, the mango tree out back, or that view from the veranda. Buyers here love those details.
Totally. And maybe the biggest lesson is to treat selling as a process, not a one-off decision. Monitor the market, listen to feedback, and be ready to rethink your strategy if weeks go by without serious interest.
Well said. The Jamaican market's unique mix of tradition, community, and modern tools makes it a fascinating place to sell. The smarter and more flexible you are, the smoother the journey will be for sellers, agents, and buyers alike.